Alright guys, I got something really interesting for you to see today. It is the Nintendo Wii Super Famicom Classic Controller. So as you can see, this looks exactly like your run-of-the-mill Super Nintendo Super Famicom controller. And in fact, it even says Nintendo Super Famicom right on the controller. The difference, however, like I said, is that this is a classic controller for the Wii, so instead of a Super Nintendo plug on the end, it is a Wii Classic controller plug. This item was a Club Nintendo Platinum reward in Japan. So this was imported from Japan. You can see all of the writing, other than you know, the regular Nintendo Wii stuff, is in Japanese. And actually it says, "This product is not for sale and only use in Japan. Commercial use, unauthorized copy and rental prohibited." Whatever. So when I lift this open, there's the plug for the classic controller. So take that out. It's got a little black and white booklet in there. The cord length seems to be the same as any other classic controller for the Wii. As you can see there, that is the end of the cable. The controller is a perfect reproduction of an original Super Famicom controller. I'm very impressed by it. The D-pad and the buttons feel exactly the way I remember them on the Super Nintendo. The start and select buttons are kind of mushy, just like I remember. The A, B, X, Y buttons are really tactile and they really feel great. They've added a little piece of rubber. I'm going to try to get it to focus on that. Let's see if we can get that. See that little piece of rubber that kind of keeps the wire from snagging. I believe that's new, and the cable seems to be a darker gray or a black almost, instead of the kind of the lighter gray of the original Super Famicom cables. But most importantly, let's see how it works. Now, of course, unlike a regular classic controller, you can't use the Famicom controller to navigate in the system menu because it doesn't have control sticks. It doesn't have the joysticks, analog sticks. So you do have to use the Wii remote anytime you want to navigate the system menus or get to the system menu, because of course this does not have a home button either. Here's a quick comparison of a new Classic Controller Pro compared to the Super Famicom Classic Controller. You can see the D-pad on the Super Famicom controller is a little bigger. Also, the buttons, the face buttons, are a little bit larger on the Super Famicom controller. The cords, I'm pretty sure, are exactly the same. They're exactly the same length, exactly the same ends on them. They probably are using the exact same pieces for that. And in fact, the only way you can tell that this is not just a recycled Super Famicom controller that somebody put a new board in or a new cord on is on the back. It does say Nintendo Wii on it. You may also be wondering that because it is from Japan, and of course these are only from Japan, am I going to have a problem with the region coding? The answer is no. All of Nintendo's controllers and other hardware are not region coded, so although it says on the box you can't use it outside of Japan, you can plug it into any Wii and it'll work fine. That's what I did. It did cost me a pretty penny to get it here though, because even in Japan it's pretty rare, so to get it shipped over here to the US wasn't cheap. Overall, in my playtesting, I did find that it is extremely responsive, and I was extremely impressed because I had been playing some Virtual Consoles and other classic games on my Wii with the Classic Controller Pro. And the face buttons on the Classic Controller Pro have a little more travel. You have to push them a little further to get them to work, and occasionally a button press wouldn't make it through. I'd push a button and it wouldn't show up, and you'd have to push harder to get the button to go. Haven't had that problem at all with a Super Famicom controller. and I've been kicking ass on Super Mario World. It just dominates when it comes to Virtual Console stuff. Of course, it doesn't have a home button, doesn't have joysticks, doesn't have Z buttons, but when it comes to Virtual Console stuff, you absolutely cannot beat this. 5 stars, 2 thumbs up, 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5. Alright, so that's all I've got for you today. If you're looking for one of these, check on eBay. There were 2 of them for sale by the same seller when I bought mine. Like I said, you kind of have to be prepared to pay a lot. I have a show on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/user/DL on DL, or click the link right here to watch my YouTube comedy variety show. So until next time, this has been Dave for NintendoNerds.com.